Hello, my name is Gehrig Brower, and I will be presenting my series project on my John Deere 40W. I'll be going over the topics on the history of the John Deere 40W and the models and production, facts, and my product. The history of the John Deere 40W. The John Deere 40W was made in 1954 to 1955. This two-row utility tractor was popular with many farmers and for a variety of jobs. The John Deere has been around for almost 100 years or even more. The first equipment they started making, or they started in a blacksmith shop, and this first equipment they made were plows, wagons, so forth, until they got to like motorized equipment like tractors and other different types of plows. And they got into like fuel injectors and that. Other John Deere 40 models, the 40 was the replacement of the John Deere M. The first one they made was a 40S standard, and then they made the 40 high crop and utility, and a two-row crop utility, and they made the 40C crawler, which is this one right here. It just like a little bulldozer. This one to the right is a John Deere M, which is the one that the 40s replaced. One on to the left is a 40S standard. And this one right here is 40 John Deere 40W, the one I got. Here's another one. There's a 420, which that was the one after the 40s, but it was still a 40 model. Just 40 involved into that. This is the high crop. Right there. Production of the John Deere 40W started in October of 1954 for the 55 model year. They made a 1,763 just under 9 months. That was just for the first year. But throughout 1954 to 1955, they made about 12,000. And facts about the John Deere 40s is they could have special orders done to it. You could have cigarette lighter, extra lights, front wheel weights. This one right here has a front wheel weight. You can barely see it. It's kind of a small thing. They had rear wheel weights. This one on the 420 had a side muffler that could be added to them. Not like your usual ones right here. My product on rebuilding a John Deere 40W tractor. It was long and hard and cost quite a bit, but we bought it in August 16th. The guy wanted $400 for it, so we bought it, because usually the ones you find cost a little bit more than that. And it's seen better days. In November, we took it apart, and we were trying to figure out the problem why it wouldn't run. But how we had to get it on the trailer, we had a pulley system pull it up on the trailer. Found out that the pistons were seized up into it, and it had a dirt dauber nest inside of it. And so we put diesel in it and tried to get it to where we could loosen up, but that kind of it worked a little bit. But then we got a piece of metal probably that big around, so it could fit down into the cylinder, and we put another big piece of metal on top to get it where we could actually move the piston. And when we finally got it to move, we took it out of there. We had to, then when we got it out there, we honed out the cylinder, and then got them cleaned up. And we cleaned up the pistons with diesel, and then we put them back in there. First, we primered it, got the whole header right here cleaned up. And then we primered that, and then put the pistons back in it. Then we had to replace a push rod because one of the push rods were bent. And got that replaced, and we put it back all together. Then that. We brush ground it in November and December. We brush grounded it and primered it. Then we had to, the grill, I'd say, took the longest. So we had to torch it, to bend it, and everything like that. And we had to, on the bottom here, there was a flat piece that we had to, it was basically rolled up into a ball. So we had to bend that, torch it, and get it to where it got flat and nice and even. And we welded it back on there. Then we primered all of it. We did the hood too. That was another hard part to do. And we got that done. Then we painted it, and then we got it running. And it had been running about 64 years, I would say. But it was the first time we ever running it, it sounded good. But there was another thing we had on it. There was a Ford muffler on it that we had on it. So we put a straight pipe on it. And loud is an understatement for that thing. And we painted it all John Deere green. And finished product, that's what it looks like now. Before we put the stickers on it and stuff like that. And that's about the best looking tractors I've ever seen. And it runs like a dream.
She may have to start a year about.
Yeah, we gotta have this problem with it, didn't we?
But let's see, we went to this before and it worked fine.
Is that the end of it?
Go back to it.
Well, it was like,
I got
I'm gonna
something.
pick out Coleman again.
I was gonna say I can call him.
Okay. We want to see it. We want to see it.
Well,
that's when Miss Martin tried to put it in there.
Yeah.
Because we had that store.
Sorry, Gehrig, sorry that happened.
it's okay. I actually, instead of the video, after the workshop page, we actually have it out here. And we'll actually run it.
We absolutely want to see it.
Okay. And if you want to come back in here, I can just
Give her
go.
just a minute, see if she can grab Andrew and see if they can get that to run. Because he's trying to be available for glitches like this.
All right.
Go on with the question. Yeah, we can go ahead and
So then,
we
skip
can
the next slide.
go ahead and ask us questions and stuff.
Any questions?
What was your very favorite part of the project? You obviously know everything about this type of tractor and did your research, but what was like your favorite part? What did you really
My favorite
like?
part was driving the thing again.
You called it a two-row tractor? What
Two-row
exactly does that mean?
It means it basically was used for a lot of things. That's why it's called a utility. You could use it for brush hogging, hay baling, attach the front end loader on it.
And we fixed that before, and I guess when Miss Martin sent it.
Is this
into the
going to
folder,
be
They
a
made it request the thing.
working tractor for you guys on the farm, or is it gonna be for show?
It's gonna be, it's just gonna be a parade tractor. And you're gonna see, yes, Grandpa.
When's your next one?
Probably a little while.
You want to come sign in real quick?
And a little better, yeah, a little better. We're just. lights, find that gold for it, so we got no lights. And we replaced, instead of a black bin, we put a Deere cover on it. That's not a Deere one on that tractor. We thought to add that, we couldn't find a way to replace it, but they put it on the side. Tires when I make it sound a little bit faster. And that's the end of it right there. And that's where you can find all the stuff about my tractor. Any questions? Any more questions?
Do you want to continue working on machinery like this, tractors or heavy
Yes.
machinery?
I do.
Then you
Oh,
It's here. It's here. It's here for us to look at?